This is Ayça Takmaz and I'll be presenting my digital design project, which is a chess clock with 4 different time control modes. But before explaining how these modes are working, I'd like to show you how the chess clock is structured and how we can operate the chess clock by using the switches and the push buttons located on the Basis 2 board. In the chess clock, there are 2 different parts of 7-segment displays. Here, the one located on the Basis 2 board is showing the countdown timer of player 1. The other 7-segment display is the countdown timer of player 2. In the timers, I set 90 minutes as the default starting time for each mode. Right now, as it started to count down, we can see only 89 minutes, but it starts with 90 minutes. Since I have 4 different modes, I'm using 2 switches to represent it by 2 bits. And the first 2 modes are default modes, and the last 2 modes are the modes of which the users can determine the delay or the increment values. The first mode, which is selected right now, is a time control mode, which is generally called a sudden death mode. When the player makes a move and presses the button to change the turn, the countdown timer of that player stops at that instant, and the timer of the other player starts to go down. And in this mode, as you can see, there is no delay nor an increment. It just changes the turn. The second mode, which I've selected right now, it's a time control mode which has 30 seconds of increment after each move. When a player makes a move and presses the button to change the turn, 30 seconds are added to the countdown timer of that player. Right now, as you can see, I will press it again and player 1 will stop. And 30 seconds are added right now, as you can see, and the countdown timer of the other player has already started to go down. In the third mode, there is no increment, but there is a delay before counting down. When the switch is off, the players can choose the delay time as a multiple of 5 seconds up to 55 seconds. This button increases the delay time by 5 seconds, and the other one on the left decreases the delay time by 5 seconds. When the players determine the delay time, just as in this case it's 5 seconds, they can start playing by changing the state of the rightmost switch and play with a delay. Right now we're seeing that player 1's timer waits for 5 seconds before counting down, and after that we'll see that, as you can see, it started to go down. So when I press the button to change the turn, I mean when the player 1 presses the button, his timer starts, but the other player's timer waits for 5 seconds before going down. And after 5 seconds, it goes down, as you can see right now. So this increment and decrement buttons are used also in the third mode and the fourth mode. The last mode has an increment mode, which is specified by the users. Again, by using these increment and decrement buttons, I'm changing the increment time by 5 seconds. And after setting it to, right now I've set it to 50 seconds, I change the switch and the player 1's countdown timer starts to go down right now. And when the player 1 presses the button to change the turn, we have already added 50 seconds to the first player's countdown timer, and the second player's timer started to go down. So basically, these are the 4 modes I've implemented, and this is the chess clock I've designed.